Blue Line Brandon went to 5 for 5 for the series so far.
I don't think you're going to like 6 for 6.
That's all right. You're gonna go Ice Cats. I got a feeling you're gonna go Ice Cats at home to close it out. That's okay.
Just it's a vibe. Marchand's obviously going to be the MVP of this Stanley Cup.
Yeah, thanks, Boston. As if Boston sports weren't bad enough, they gave us a rat on a team full of rats who's been dominant in their playoff run.
Well, you say thanks, Boston. I think it's because you're a San Francisco Giant fan, and yesterday Boston gave you Rafael Devers in exchange for Kyle Harrison, Jordan Hicks, and James Tibbs, and a minor league pitcher named Jose Bello. The Giants are going to absorb the $250 million left on this contract from Rafael Devers.
You're damn right we are.
And Devers, who came into the year hating the Red Sox because the Red Sox went and got Bregman, and so it was like, he's going to play third. And he's like, I only want to play third. And they're like, what if you play first? He's like, I hate first. He's actually swung the bat really well. He's hitting .272. But enough. They had reached their point, I guess, in Boston with him, and another star in Boston that they've moved on from. I saw many people pointing out what they've had in return for their stars that they've moved, and it's not a whole lot.
No, they've now helped out the NL West rivalry, though, with Mookie Betts going to the Dodgers and Rafael Devers going to the Giants.
And Buster Posey's basically running the San Francisco Giants now, and he is all in. He went and got Rafael Devers for a bunch of players that nobody, unless you're a Giants fan, had heard of. Can we be honest? Can we be honest?
You never heard of Jordan Hicks before? That's a name that I thought some random baseball fans will know. Jordan Hicks had been around. He's been a relief pitcher. He's a closer for the Cardinals for a while.
Maybe somebody I would have recognized.
You would recognize him if you saw him. Kyle Harrison, you would have no idea of who he is if you're not a Giants fan.
Now, they optioned one of these guys to AAA as soon as they got
Kyle
him.
Harrison, they did. He's been in the minors for most of the year for the Giants. He's one of their better pitching prospects, though. He broke in last year. Like, he was the prized piece of the trade, probably, because I'd never heard of the other two minor leaguers, and I follow it relatively closely.
Boston got a C grade on ESPN's, trade grade, and the Giants got an A-.
So the part of this is, for Boston, they screwed this up. Why they decided to sign a third baseman in free agency without talking to the guy who was the face of their franchise is kind of a weird move. Then it was a new GM basically saying, we want to move in positions, and then Devers at the start of the year. Like, we did segments on Rafael Devers at the start of the year because he kind of went George Costanza, fat bodysuit guy. Like, he wasn't trying.
Yeah.
He wasn't swinging at
He
pitches.
was really upset with him.
They told him that they wanted him to play first base. He said he didn't want to play first base. Nobody communicated this with me. The last GM told me I was going to be a third baseman for this contract. And so they kind of created this weird problem on their hands that they didn't really have to. And so it ultimately felt like it was going to lead to this. A lot of the intel from Boston has said that he basically sat him down and was like, look, if you don't want me here, trade me. And they said, okay. And then this trade popped up, and it sounds like they've been talking for a couple of weeks. I was shocked that that's all it took to get him. It is a lot of money left on his contract. And now the problem that the Giants are going to have is a bit of the same problem that the Boston Red Sox has, and that is, where are you going to play him? Because they got Matt Chapman, who might be the best defensive third baseman in all of baseball. So you're not taking Matt Chapman away from third base. They do need a first baseman. Is he okay playing first base with a new team? Is he okay just being a DH? Like, they're going to have a little bit of that conundrum on their hands. I think they're hoping fresh start, showing that they want him, that he's going to be more willing and open. He's got friends on the team. Willie Adames is a big friend of his for like 10 years. And so I think they're hoping the messaging gets through when he plays first base. But this was awesome to see. My team hasn't made a lot of these big trades in a while, and this is one that is a guy who's under contract for like the next 8 or 9 years. So a lot of times you get these deals in baseball, and it's an expiring deal, and then they hit free agency, and you're like, damn it, we gave up prospects for 4 months of a player. This guy's under contract for basically the next decade, so I was pretty pumped yesterday.
Will and I do a gambling show on Sundays, and our producer's a big baseball guy, and I think he likes the NBA, but he had kind of teed up. He told me about this trade because I wasn't on the internet. I was cleaning my house.
My brother-in-law texted me. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I had to go look. I'm like, whoa.
What?
But our producer basically was like, oh, who would have thought? The biggest trade of the weekend's from baseball, not the NBA.
It's a bigger trade than what happened in the NBA.
Oh, see, I disagreed. I actually disagreed very passionately. Devers is a good player. I'm not refuting that.
Who's better, Rafael Devers or Desmond Bain?
Well, so I said this. Tell me if you think I'm wrong here, okay? Because you're probably going to argue Devers is, and I can't really argue.
Has Desmond Bain ever been an all-star?
No.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think they're about the same in name recognition for sports fans.
Oh, really? Hard disagree there.
Well, what do you think the crossover percentage is of basketball and baseball fan? I don't think it's very high.
It's not very high.
So if you're in the baseball world, Devers is clearly the bigger name. If you're a basketball bro, I think Bain is looked at as a very good player.
I don't think you're wrong there.
So I think the general sports fan, I think they're kind of the same thing. Like you say the name and you're like, I know that name, but you got to think for a second. And some may more know Devers because he was a Red Sox, and it means a little more to be a Red Sox
than a Memphis Grizzly.
Yeah, than a Memphis Grizzly.
Carries a little more weight.
And we'll get to the Bain trade. I just think basketball trades, guys like him, far more impact immediate success for teams. And I think Devers is a good piece for your Giants.
Yeah.
But your Giants will succeed if their bullpen doesn't choke and their starting pitching's good.
Hey, we got a good bullpen, man.
Okay.
We got a good bullpen.
I wouldn't know anything about your pitching staff. I haven't watched much Giants outside of a Braves series.
Well, you better now. We mean business. We're all in, baby.
My point is Devers could continue to be a stud and a unit for the Giants.
Sure.
But if their pitching chokes, it's not going to matter all that much. Whereas
one player
goes
in basketball, can have a bigger impact. Orlando's not doing anything with that lineup, by the way, in the Eastern Conference next year. Desmond Bain's a really good player. We'll see you later in the second round. Orlando. There's my hot take on that trade. We'll get to it later.
Wow, getting ahead of you, just poo-pooing that trade.
I do think it's a little offensive to Rafael Devers, San Francisco Giant legend, to compare him to Desmond Bain. I see the point on name recognition. I do think you got some solid ground there. I think what carries it here is that you have a guy who has played, I want to say, in 4 straight All-Star games, and he's a Boston Red Sox.
No, the Red Sox.
And that's a big
helps.
deal. And
yes.
He was the face of the Red Sox. He was the guy that they pivoted to after trading Mookie Betts. That was supposed to be the next franchise player who was going to be there forever. And so Desmond Bain's a really good player, and you can definitely have a bigger impact as one guy in the NBA. Like, even if Devers is great, but the rest of the lineup sucks, the Giants aren't going to go anywhere. So that's the difference in baseball that you learn repetitively year after year by different teams who have star players who are great, but there's nothing else really around them. But I do think Devers is a bigger deal than Desmond Bain, just because of the team that he got traded for. They're one of the most talked about and discussed and recognizable sports franchises in the world.
The Magic, yeah.
And this is a really weird scenario where, like, Devers legitimately was the number one fan favorite in Boston. He is their guy. They love him there. And they completely railroaded him this offseason by signing somebody else to play this position.
But then you know what's weird about that? I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want to just note, having follow a couple people and doing a show with a Boston-based person, it's interesting following that because he was, or maybe still is for a lot. The spring training thing was so weird for people.
Well, people end up taking the side of the team, even though the player
split him
was
a little bit
right.
on him a little bit, even though he was like, "Yo, I've been here." Like,
this was you signed me to play third base. And
why
then
did you
just
sign somebody?
Sign somebody else to play my position. It's a good poll question. I do think the Desmond Bain trade had a bigger impact on us locally because of the ramifications that might come from a certain guard not getting traded to Orlando.
I'm doing a poll question on that right now.
What was the bigger trade over the weekend?
I'm doing it's a Simon's poll question. I'll put that one on there though. We'll do some poll questions today. I'll do what was the bigger trade.
Yeah, Desmond Bain, very good player, but I think I would say Rafael Devers, a bigger deal.
A better player for sure.
A better player.
Yeah, I won't disagree with you there.
4-time All-Star.
I just think you and I and every other sports fan that likes to watch all of it, and obviously football is the number one.
Yeah.
I think we've all kind of come to just say, if it doesn't involve pigskin and a helmet with like a certain logo of one of 30.
So there'll be a lot of people who are like, I don't care, whatever.
Exactly.
I don't give a man.
Yeah.
Get a lot of that.